Patriots fans, it is draft week and anything can happen. But let's be honest, are we always going to believe Adam Schefter and everything he tweets? Let's talk about it. So, Adam Schefter dropped a story about Kayshon Boutte, basically saying, listen, he is expendable. He is a player that the Patriots have that they can say, listen, we can use him as a trade asset to really cultivate as much draft capital as possible. We all know, new regime in New England. Mike Vrabel is at the helm. And listen, he wants to bring in the guys he wants. Now, that doesn't mean he doesn't want Kayshon Boutte. We know this past year he made leaps and bounds. Now, we can only hope, like we've talked about before, that Jalen Polk and Javon Baker make those same leaps and bounds. Now, Kayshon Boutte, it is one of those things. I will tell you that if they decide to trade him, we need to remember he's on a 4-year deal. He's getting paid about $1 million a year. So it is very low. He still has 2 years left on that contract. So again, if it is in their best interest to trade Kayshon Boutte, to whether there's been a ton of rumors that the Patriots want to move up from that 38th spot into the late first round to make a big splash, sure, okay. You bundle up him in a trade and send him off somewhere else. But again, what are you getting in return? What are you getting for someone like Kayshon Boutte? Because again, I think he is creating good rapport, a good connection with Drake May. And so that's what makes me nervous. Now, if you were to tell me, listen, they're gonna send off someone like Jalen Polk. Okay. Again, I have hope for him, but I've also seen what he did this past year. I do know his ceiling. You watch in Washington what he was able to accomplish in Washington with that very large wide receiver room they had in the multiple wide receivers that went different places in the NFL. I saw what he was able to do there, but again, can that translate to the NFL? So if they were able to take someone like him, who would definitely be a project, and I'm not saying Kayshon Boutte has hit the peak of his NFL career, he is not, but he has showed glimpses, he has shown promise in his play. So if the Patriots were to say, listen, we're going to send him somewhere, listen, you better get something back in return that is worth it. I think that's the biggest thing. I don't want to see him go. You guys know my favorite catchphrase. It's becoming one of my favorite catchphrases is "Bring that booty." If you ever watch The Office, Daryl in The Office references that fun little play on The Office, but he calls it BTB. Hilarious. Anyways, Kayshon Boutte. Big question is for you. Do you think the Patriots should trade him if the opportunity arises? Should he be an expendable piece? Now, you might say, Aaron, listen, this is the NFL. It's a business. Anyone at any time should be expendable. Yes, I don't disagree. But again, we see the promise. We know wide receiver is a position that needs a lot of help. Now, again, we're talking about a lot of different scenarios here. And again, I think the biggest one is them most likely trying to trade up to get someone, or again, being able to trade and just say, listen, we'll give you Kayshon Boutte and we're going to go try someone else. Sure. This draft, we don't know. You're going to say, Aaron, we don't know. We don't know, but we know. They're most likely going to get a wide receiver, and we've talked about a bunch of other positions. But again, is it worth saying Kayshon Boutte is expendable, that he could be drafted, or sorry, not drafted, already drafted, 6th-round pick? That's the reason his contract is what it is. But is it worth saying that he's expendable? What do you think? Comment below. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button while you're already commenting below, and hit that like button as well. So Kayshon Boutte, yay or nay on Kayshon Boutte? I say that all the time, yay or nay. What do you think? You okay with them trading Kayshon Boutte? Or are you more in the boat that, no, he is young, 1, 22 years old, 2, he's still on his rookie contract, getting paid peanuts compared to other NFL players, and 3, he has shown potential, a lot of potential in my opinion, in a lackluster offense last year. He has potential. So what do you think? Comment below. Let me hear from you. Kayshon Boutte, expendable or not? Let's hear it. Next up, we jump into And here's Kayshon Boutte's stats, by the way, last year. If you forgot, 43 receptions on 68 targets, almost 600 yards, and then 3 touchdowns, one being that go route on the outside. Beautiful route. Drake May's first touchdown pass right in the basket. Beautiful. I will never forget it. It was great. It was great. Last but not least, what I want to jump into today is as the draft approaches more, here's a list of ranked tackles, and I think number one is gonna surprise you a little bit. Ranked tackles, and of these 6 tackles, I'm going to tell you right now, one of them will be a New England Patriot. One of them is going to be a New England Patriot. If the Patriots, for some reason, do not draft one of these guys, I would be very surprised. A lot of these guys we've talked about. So, for instance, Josh Conerly Jr. from Oregon, we have talked about. He is a guy, him and Urseri out of Minnesota, are 2 guys that are most likely going to be early day 2 pickups. Is that a possibility at 38? Yes, we've talked about that, but potentially based on who the Patriots get at number 4. Do they still need an offensive tackle? Yes. If so, then it could very well be one of these 2 guys. Now, Conerly, the biggest issue with him is honestly growth in his run game. So that's a reason he's not crazy high up on this list, is his run game needs to improve. Now, we know that pass protection it has to be key at Oregon. If anyone's watched that team, it has to be perfect. So pass protection, great. His run game, not ideal. Now in a Josh McDaniels offense, we're gonna have to get that polished up. So potential legitimate starter in the NFL, great. Not as great as the top of the list, but someone that can definitely come in and make an impact for this organization. Urseri is it, and you're going to see on this list a lot of natural strength, natural power, agility, all these other things. Urseri, one thing that he needs to kind of polish up essentially is just like little inconsistencies. So going up against basic stunts, certain moves that kind of expose him and don't help him out much. Tendency to go upright, which if you're gonna go upright, football, what's the one thing you hear all the time? Low man wins. And so obviously, does that mean you are always going to get the lowest? No, but being able to not go upright, not be over aggressive in your blocking, whether that's pass, whether it's run, whatever it might be. And so again, potential starter, yes, but another guy that is most likely going to drop out of the first round and be an early second round pick. Josh Simmons, a guy we've talked about who's an absolute stud, incredibly versatile at as people would say, Ohio State University. Biggest concern is health. We've talked about him before. He has all the intangibles. The only issue is can he stay healthy? So he had this knee problem. Can he stay healthy? They believe that he can play either right or left tackle. He has great spatial awareness, and he works well with both pass pro and run offense. So great on him. Membu, again, has all the attributes, the tenacity, the aggressiveness, and the athleticism on top of that. But the deal is, for the Patriots, this guy plays right tackle. So can he switch over to left tackle would be the big question. We've talked about that. Now, here's the deal. I've already showed you who number 1 is. Number 2, Will Campbell. And it's everything you've heard. It's his arm size. That's the biggest issue. Besides that, he's a natural leader. He's very technical. He's explosive. And he has everything you want, except his wingspan and his short arms are the things holding him back. I'm going to say this. I had multiple people comment the other day who said, Aaron, the SEC is washed up. I'm going to agree with you. The past couple of years, the SEC has not been what it's usually been. I'm not going to disagree with that. But he is still playing major college football. He is still going up against guys who are being drafted first round, second round edge rushers that are great, and he held his own. How many sacks did he give up this past year? It might have been 2, if that. I think it was 4 in the past 2 years. It might have been 3 or less. I can't remember. We'd have to look. But that being said, Will Campbell will be able to play left tackle. If you have Doug Marrone coming out and saying, hey, he can do it. I've watched him. There's a reason people are talking about him going number 4. Do we think these these scouts and these recruiters and these coaches just, oh, Will Campbell just because. No, no, like he has what it takes. Uh, and I think that is the betting favorite at the moment is Will Campbell. Calvin Banks, what's interesting right here is at the end of this, it says, listen, if Carter and Travis Hunter are gone, which we've talked about, if one of those two are available, they will be most likely drafted to the Patriots unless the Patriots get a king's ransom for someone to trade up. It says right here, Calvin Banks should be a no-brainer, no questions asked at number 4, which is interesting because you look at most mock drafts and he's in that 10 to 12 range right there, if not maybe a little higher. And so it's very interesting. It says day 1 starter off the back. Upside is he could be one of the best top blindside protectors in the league. So and then it basically said, listen, he's a tried and true recruit. His overall floor is rock solid. So when it comes down to it, he has what it takes. He started at the, obviously the University of Texas. Again, we talk about another SEC school, but before that, they were still in the Big 12. But he has the size, he has the agility for being how big he is at 6'5", 320. Arm length is right there, and he already has all the athletic traits to match up with NFL top speed on the edge. So you hear that and you're like, dang, that sounds really good. But again, we'll see what happens. It's going to be one of those guys. Who of those 6 guys that we talked about? So Connerly, Ursary out of Minnesota, Simmons out of Ohio State, Will Campbell, and Campbell and Banks. Which one do you think is going to be on the Patriots? Comment below. Again, don't miss out on Patriots content, and don't miss out on my live show during the first round of the draft. Do not miss out on that. We'll talk later. Hit the subscribe button. Peace.